Hi, this is Bill, and this is going to be not necessarily an in-depth review, but just more of a features overview and an overall demonstration of the X120 DC charger. This is a DC input charger that accepts between 10 to 28 volts input, and it produces 120 watts of power output. And it's advertised of producing or having 94% efficiency, and can support up to 10 amps of current output for the charge rate on the batteries. Apologize for having a little bit of a high humming noise. You see over here to the left. This is a server power supply that I'm using here, and I've already got it powered up, and it's basically a power supply from a computer server, and I've got it rigged up to where the output produces a DC output here of roughly 12 volts output. So I'll be using this as my 12 volt input into the charger shortly. So let's go ahead and cover the box opening contents, so that way you get to see what's included with the charger. It does include a stylus here. There is no option for you to mount the stylus anywhere in the charger, so it's not one of those things that I think is actually necessary to use, but it's kind of nice to make it easier to touch around the screen. It does include a little instruction manual here that is it's a little bit difficult to read. If you have if you require glasses, I'd highly recommend pulling them out to read the font. And there's 37 pages of instruction here. There is an online version of this for the AC version of the charger. If you click on the description to the link to this video, I'll go ahead and provide a link to the PDF copy of the AC version of this charger. It does come with a 4mm bullet connector to a XT60 style connector with this, which is convenient for most of the batteries that come with the HobbyKing batteries. And then it also comes with a couple of the alligator style clips to be able to connect this onto your car battery. So I'll show how that works in just a second here. Pull the charger. That's all the contents that are included in the box. I'll put that off to the side. And the charger itself has these input leads here, which are the 4mm bullets for the input, and the way they design these little clips here is there's a little connectors that you snap that on place into each of those connectors, and then you can go ahead and hook this up to your car settings. For my purposes, I'm actually not going to be using this, so I'm going to set that to the side, and we'll go ahead and plug this in over here into my power supply, so that way I can get power hooked up to the charger and get it going. Now, as you see, as the charger boots up, there are different output settings on here. You'll see that the two 4mm bullet connectors for positive, negative. You'll see a series of JST balance ports there. There's also a PC upgrade port. I could not find any instructions that list on how to use the PC upgrade port, but I may try hooking it up to my computer and see if I can get a reading on it. I know I've used some other software programs in the past that are able to get graphical readouts, so I may see if this is compatible with that. I'll go ahead and update in the review thread that accompanies in the link to this video. So like I said, go on the description of this video, click on the link, and then I'll have updates there. It also has an output for USB power there as well, so that could be convenient for charging cell phone, whatnot, whether USB devices are out there. So for here, this is everything that's included. Unfortunately, I don't have any XT60 connections out there, but what I do have is a battery here that is set up with a Dean style connector. I'll bring this over here, and one of the things that I found that was a little difficult for me is that the balance port is kind of short to plug in there. So what I happen to have here is I have an extension of a 2S JST connector, and I've spliced in a servo extension, so that way I can have a nice long reach. I can actually plug this into the charger itself, or I also have they sell HobbyKing sells these breadboard adapters, these JST adapters as well. It's got a 6S port here you can extend out there, and on top of that they also have which is a parallel board. So this has got your 6S connector here for JST, and then of course you got your regular connector, and then you could plug in, you could charge up to what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 different batteries in parallel at the same time, assuming that they're all, I believe they all have to be the same cell count. I'm not sure about the capacity, that kind of averages itself out. This would be a nice feature to have if you want to charge up to 6 batteries of the same cell count with this charger. Take advantage of the full 120 watt output. Not all batteries are designed to have a full 10 watt output. This one here is a 4.6 amp battery, so this one could be set to 4.6. Typically 1C is what you want to go for in most cases. So let me go ahead and connect this up, and then we'll go through some of the menu options here in a moment, and we'll go ahead and get all these connected. And then I've got my banana here for the battery to get that hooked up. So this battery is now ready to be charged. What I'm going to try and do here is start turning off some of these lights and then try to zoom in so that way we can see. Please bear with me here. Okay, so now I've got the charger turned on, and I've dimmed my screen. I've got my stylus here. Now I can also use my index finger. I'll try to show you here with my index finger, so that I can go ahead and select the type, and then I could use actually a screwdriver. I don't know if you can see it in the light here, but this is actually a screwdriver here, and I could say select a LiPo with it. But just for illustration purpose, I'm going to go ahead and use the stylus because it's the finer point. I'm going to go ahead and go down here into the user settings, and you can see here that over on the left hand side there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 options here showing the cutoff, low voltage input, temperature range and whatnot. I'll hit the more down here, and it'll toggle between different settings here for the nickel metal hydride settings, cycle times, and whether the buzzer level. Each of these settings is all available here in these 12 options, or actually it's 11 because of the back. But the low voltage cutoff here, you can range. I have it set to 10 volts. I believe 11 volts is the default, and you can actually go all the way up to 24 volts. This is actually nice to have, a nice feature to have. So if you have your charger hooked up to a automotive battery and you don't want to drain the battery too low a voltage, so that way you can still start your car engine, then you can have the charger cut off at a certain voltage. Since I have this hooked up to a power supply, I really don't need that safety, so I've got it all the way down to the 10 volt as a cutoff. Same thing with the cutoff temperature range. I don't believe this comes with a temperature sensor, but I believe that you should be able to get that separately. I'll have to look around for that feature and see how to test that. Cutoff capacity is another safety feature, so that way if you don't want to have the battery overcharged. I got this one set to 5 amps, and you can adjust accordingly. Cutoff time is available, so as another safety feature. So I think the default here is set to 90 minutes, so you can adjust that based on how much time you think you need as a safety to shut the charger off if your battery hasn't finished charging within that certain amount. There's some different check and peaks for the nickel metal hydride chemistry, cycle times. There's the backlight level, and I've playing with different settings here. If it's too bright, it might be too bright for my camera. Let's see how that goes. Yeah, I might turn that down just to make it a little bit easier to see here. And then you can control the buzzer level, so that way that everything's on here, or you can disable the button presses, but then or disable the button press and the alarm setting. And here you could say disable the alarm altogether and leave the button press down. So I'll just leave everything on for now. It does have a language setting here. It shows that there's other languages available, but they're all disabled. So if I hit like Italian or French, it doesn't do it. English seems to be the only option that is available. We'll go ahead and back out to the main screen. Here you can see on the left that it's set to LiPo discharge mode, 2 cells with the current. So I can actually load different options. So I hit the load menu. You'll see that there's 6 different presets that are available. I have 3 pre-programmed in there. One is a balance mode, charge, and storage, and then you can actually overwrite one. So like where it says balance here, I can go ahead and load that and then change the mode here. So it was balance. I could say, well, I'm going to go ahead and change it to fast charge, and then and then you see it has fast charge over here. And then when I go to load on the presets, oh, I forgot to save it. My bad. Look at the balance. Change the mode to fast charge. Hit save, and then I'll overwrite that one. Now when I go to load again, where it had balance there is gone, and now you see it says fast charge. So I'm going to go ahead and put that back to balance mode. Select that, change the mode, balance, save, I'll overwrite that one, and now you can see that it's now back to balance mode. So that you can manage your 6 different menu options here to choose from. So let me go ahead and put it into balance mode. I've selected that one, and we'll go ahead and hit start. And then you'll see that the input voltage on the upper left is there at 12.3 volts. And then showing the LiPo mode, balance, 2 cells, and how the duration of time that's going on, the current voltage of the pack, and then how much current is going into it. I did have it set to 4.6 amps, so I'd expect this to jump up to level out at 4.6 as it does its charge. And then you get to see the capacity that's going into the pack here. So this is a good method to manage your battery life, to where if you have a fully discharged battery, and in this case it's a 4.6 amp pack, and if I drain it all the way down to basically 3 volts per cell and then charge it back up, I should put approximately 4,600 milliamps back into it. And if let's say if I only get like 3,000 milliamps put back in after it's fully drained, then I would know that that battery pack is beyond its service life, where most battery manufacturers recommend at about 80% capacity is considered past the service life of the battery. Down here in the bottom you'll see it says 18 watts is being charged into it, and this particular pack has already reached its full charge, so the amps are dropping, so the watts is dropping down here as well. And you can see cell 1 and 2 over here on the left are already at 4.2 volts. So this pack has pretty much completed its charge cycle. I'm going to go ahead and stop and back out of this, and then so you saw the load, save, the different modes that you can go into. There's balance, charge, fast charge, storage, discharge, and then the checker, it just checks the voltage. That's all that does. I'll hit start there, and it's just showing it's 8.4 volts, and that's all that does there. You can adjust your current settings here and your discharge. You can use the jogger slide to slide it back and forth along the dial. You can also use these arrows, and then if you want to go all the way down, you can just hit the number that you want. It'll jump to that number on the deal. So I think I had it 4.6, and then discharge works the same way. And I believe that pretty much covers all the features that this charger has. If you have any questions, please click on the link to the description of this video for more information and details, and we'll go from there. Thanks for watching.